In today's video, we're going to talk about the Toyota FJ Cruiser and why it got canceled. So as usual, we're going to start with the model years of styling, pricing, competitors, sales numbers, known issues, and a replacement if it was replaced. This car was not replaced, so we don't have to worry about it, although it did run alongside with the 4Runner, which is quite interesting, and the 4Runner is still being produced, and the FJ Cruiser is not. So anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with the model years. So the Toyota FJ Cruiser first hit the dealerships around 2006, in the late part of 2006, for the 2007 model year. This car ran from, obviously, like I said, 2007 to 2014 with no real design changes, and you could still buy a brand new FJ Cruiser 5 years after it was discontinued in 2019. I'm not kidding. There was a brand new FJ Cruiser sold in 2019. So now let's go ahead and move over to the styling. So the FJ Cruiser is, well, one of the brawniest Toyotas you'll ever see. Coming in from this era, you had the Camry, which was, well, a mid-size sedan that looked like a mid-size sedan. And you also had the compact crossover, the RAV4. You had Corollas and Siennas and stuff like that. They were normally, styled Toyotas and normally styled vehicles. And then Toyota said, oh, yeah, by the way, with the introduction of the new 2007 Tundra and Camry, which were redesigned for the 2007 model year, we're going to give you this, the FJ Cruiser, which is a very, very strange car. And so Toyota, they decided they wanted to give you this oddly styled FJ Cruiser. Now, it's not ugly. I do happen to like the exterior and interior. They are both very nice. Toyota, um, it's definitely something you didn't see every day, just put it like that. You rolled up to your Toyota dealer in 2012, and, well, you had all your new 2012 Camrys, and you also had this. It was a very, very strange decision for Toyota to just build something like this, but, I mean, that's what Toyota decided to do. It didn't even have, four doors. It obviously had rear seats, but it didn't have four doors. It was like some pickup trucks with just a half door. That was a very strange decision from Toyota. Again, they make the Tundra, which has four doors, the Camry, the Corolla, the minivan, or their minivan, the Sienna, and then they come out with this. It's just something you don't see every day. Now, with that being said, let's move on to pricing. So, before you guys get mad and comment, oh, yes, there is a manual transmission FJ Cruiser. I know that, but they aren't all that common. And if they are common, well, then you can go in the comments and call me an idiot. But I looked, and for the 2010 model year, this is what I could find. There weren't too many manual transmission FJ Cruisers for the 2010 model year. Let's put it like that. So you can read this little blurb I put so you guys don't have to comment and say, oh, yes, there is manual transmission 4Runners or FJ Cruisers, because I already know that. With that being said, the pricing goes like this. The base 4x2 is going to start at $24,180 in 2010 money, or $28,622 in 2020 money. And for that money, you are getting a 4-liter V6 with 259 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque. Made it to a 5-speed automatic or a 6-speed manual transmission. For the base 4x4, you're going to be paying $25,770, or 30 grand in today's money, $30,504 to be exact. And everything I just mentioned followed through. Same engine, same torque, same power, same transmission. So I'm not going to talk about that, but yes. So that's the pricing situation with the Toyota FJ Cruiser. Now we move on to the competitors, and here they are. You have the Jeep Wrangler, the Toyota 4Runner. Yes, I put the 4Runner down as a competitor, even though they're from the same brand, so all the money's going to the same place. Yes, they're still competitors, though, even though one was a mid-sized family SUV and the other was an off-roady, brawny, muscular SUV, I still consider them to be competitors. So like I said, Wrangler, 4Runner, you have the Xterra, which was this car's closest competitor, um, at least in my opinion. Maybe it wasn't, maybe it was, I don't know. Um, and then you had the Honda Element. Yeah. Um, and so these are all four of the competitors that I could think of. So now we're going to move on to the sales numbers. So for the FJ Cruiser from 2006 to 2019, like I said, there was one sold in 19. These are the total sales numbers. So let's go over 2006. Wasn't even a model year. They sold 56,000 of these. So I'll tell you right now, the reason they sold 56,000 of these in 2006 is because, the world had never seen something this odd. And, so, they said, oh, I'll give it a try. And so a lot of them bought it for the 2007 model year. 2007 also had pretty strong sales, 55,000 of these were sold. 2008, though, sales plummeted. And we all know why that happened in 2008 economic crisis. So sales definitely took a huge beat down. 28,000 of these were sold in 2008. 2009 was no better. 11,000 of these were sold in 2009. Their worst sales year. 2010, 14,000. So they did rebound, but then they quickly went back down because in 11 they sold 13,541. In 2012 they sold 13,655. In 2013 they sold 13,131. Then Toyota just said we're going to pull the plug. 11,000 were sold in 2014. And before I move on and talk about all the other model years, I am going to say this. Had Toyota just had they just gone through just a little bit more, they had stretched that generation as far as they could, it would have sold. And that's proof by the used car market. A lot of people are paying over sticker price. You already saw they were like 30 grand in today's money. People are paying that for an FJ Cruiser because that's what the market wants. I feel like if Toyota brings back the FJ Cruiser, it will be a large success. Moving on from that rant, 2015 they sold 229. In 2016 they sold 9. 9 of these were sold in 2016. 17 and 18 were no better. They sold 6 combined in those 2 years. So 3 in each year. And then 19, like I said, 1 was sold. Maybe in 2020 we'll sell another FJ Cruiser, brand new off the showroom floor with no miles on it. I don't even know how how that last FJ Cruiser was still at the dealership. That's surprising to me, but it's what it is. So in total, they sold 219,261 of these vehicles. On average, they sold 15,662 over 14 model years. So, this was not necessarily a strong seller. I suspect if they bring it back now, they will have their best sales year ever, outselling. And I guarantee you this, I 100% believe that if they bring it back now, it'll outsell the Lexus RX or something even like the RAV4. I truly, truly, truly believe that, but I'm not certain because Toyota, I guess they don't want to bring it back. I don't know why they won't. Maybe they just feel like the 4Runner is enough for right now. Even though there are car enthusiasts, there are people saying, please bring back the FJ Cruiser. And Toyota's just being stubborn right now. And they keep building Corollas and Camrys. They're building the little CHR, but they can't build an FJ Cruiser. It's stupid. But moving on from that rant, now we move on to the known issues. There's only one major one, I'll say that, and that is the car shutters at about 35 to 40 miles an hour. That's at 106,000 miles on average. That's gonna be fun. Driving down the road, car shutters like it's about to fall apart, like it's some old Pontiac, even though it's a well put together 2010 FJ Cruiser. It's stupid. And there were some other small ones like the check engine light, but I mean, even though it's a Toyota, it still has an engine. It's still man-made, and the check engine light's gonna come on. Get over it. You're gonna have to fix it, just like every other car. Yes, it does. It only happens once every 77 years, but it still happens. Get over it. And the second one is the drive shaft. The drive shaft snapped. I only found one complaint about that, and so I decided that there weren't enough complaints for that to be on this list. So there's only one, the car shutters, and that was the most common one that I could find across many FJ Cruiser forums. Moving on. So now, the end of the video. The FJ Cruiser, it was an amazing vehicle, even from 2006, 2007, when it first went on sale. This was an amazing vehicle. This was something that Toyota had never done. It was like GM experimented in the early to mid 2000s, and Honda and Toyota, they kind of experimented in the late 2000s with Honda's interesting Ridgeline and their Element. And Toyota, they're over here making this and the CHR, no real correlation between those cars. Anyway, but I feel like if Toyota brings back the FJ Cruiser while they have a chance, they'll be able to tear the segment apart. With the 4Runner and the FJ Cruiser put together, that'll be Toyota. They'll definitely gain a lot of sales numbers. They'll gain a lot of sales that they never even thought that they could. Because I mean, Honda, there's no real competition right now with the 4Runner. Honda, they just kind of threw something together and said, "Oh yeah, we have the Passport," because the Passport is originally just a rebadged Isuzu Rodeo. So that's kind of interesting. And then they just, "Oh yeah, we'll bring it back, but we're not gonna make something of our own. Instead, we're just gonna make it the Pilot. No one will care. Nobody's gonna buy it anyway." And as far as I can tell, Honda's right. Nobody bought it because nobody knew that the Passport existed. They did a terrible job. It was honestly just a Pilot. But that was the Toyota FJ Cruiser and why it got canceled. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.